Y'all niggas got me hot.
Is we live? Is we live? Is we live? Yes, you're now tuned into the Rare Podcast. And of course, I'm your host of the most, NK, aka the bad of the hour, too sweet to be sour. And of course, I'm always joined by my lovely co-host.
Hello, it's Jason.
Big up, bad up, Ashley, big up, bad up, shoulder. They couldn't be here today. But as you know, we always start with a little segment called Rare Moment of the Week, where we like to spotlight a creative that we feel deserves the accolades, deserves, the recognitions. Mr. J Quad, your Rare Moment of the Week.
I've got a few actually.
Okay.
I feel like my first rare moment of the week will be this Christian group called Bridge Music.
Okay.
And it's not even like worship music they do like Afro beats, Afro swing. And the way they do it is just so cool and their sound is amazing.
Yeah.
And my other one, I don't know how to say her surname, but she wrote a book called, her name is Bolu, and she wrote a book called Honey and Spice. And I finished reading it like 2 months ago.
What genre of book is it?
It's like a romance, but it's
Okay.
black and it's set in the UK, set in the uni.
Okay.
And it's just amazing. It's them books that that should be put in cinema. Like even another book I read, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, that was amazing. Literally felt like a movie. It was literally like when people say that there's page turners of a book, I never used to get that expression. But now when I started reading again, these books are amazing. Evelyn Hugo, beautiful book. So yeah, Bolu and Bridge Music are my rare moments of the week.
Cool, big up them. And then my rare moment of the week is Eni. She released the EP called We Go Again. And I feel like Eni is honestly one of the best rappers in the UK. Like, I just feel like, I just love her sound. I love her voice. Like, lyrically, she's cold. And I just feel like, Eni just deserves all the accolades, all the flowers, man. Eni's been killing it for time, man. So, like, big up Eni. And I hope to see a full album soon. But, this EP is definitely, whets the appetite, So, big up Eni, man. But, that's been Rare Moment of the Week. We'll catch you next week on the next segment of Rare Moment of the Week. But before we start, I wanted to ask you a little, let's play a game of little one has to go, all right? Okay. Where, I'll put 4 people together and then one of them has to go. This is 2000s girlies, yeah? For this first section. So we've got Britney Spears, Pink, Gwen Stefani, Christina Aguilera. One has to go.
I think it's hard because I like Pink, but I didn't know too much of her songs back in the 2000s. I only knew her new songs back in the 2010s. And the reason why I knew her songs were because they were everywhere. Yeah. And also because of Glee was covering a lot of her songs.
Now, Glee, I can't lie, Glee put me onto a lot of songs that Glee was a moment. Like,
I feel like definitely Glee was that show where it's like if your song was on it, your song was big. Because I remember when they sang Little Mix's Wings, I was like, yeah, Little Mix are made in America. Yeah. Like, and a lot of the time, Glee took some songs and they made it their own. I can't lie, the originals, you people should be angry right now. Because they literally did a Whitney Houston to Dolly Parton. Like, the way Whitney Houston took I Will Always Love You. Yeah. Fam, nobody remembers that's Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton doesn't even mind. She said she did it and she did well. But the way Glee takes songs...
what would you say is a song that, like, you heard on Glee and you went to hear the original and you're like, nah, Glee was hitting different?
I can't lie. For me, I love Glee's cover of Fun. You know the song with Janelle Monáe? No, We Are Young.
Okay, yeah.
So the band Fun, they did that song. But I still like their version. But the way Glee did that song and just the whole episode and that segment, that scene was beautiful. I loved it. Because I think they were at Rachel's house and they were having a sleepover or something. Or was it that episode? But it was one of them episodes, but it was really good. And I feel like there's a lot of songs that if I can go back, I might even rewatch Glee again.
For me, there was a cover they did of Christina Aguilera's Fighter. And then that was a really good cover. And I was like, Glee definitely has a lot of hits. But when I say 2000s girlies, obviously, like, I'm talking about their running to fight. We can include you can include their whole career if you want. But I'm just, obviously,
I'm gonna say
they were more popping in the 2000s, innit?
I might have to say Gwen Stefani.
Has to go. Yeah.
She has some good songs.
Ooh, few times I've been around that.
Actually, no. Honestly, sorry, Pink. I'm gonna say Pink because I only knew a few of Pink's songs in the 2010s, but not her old songs. When people talk about her light skin era and the R&B days, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, for me, like the non-negotiables are Britney and Christina. I think
course,
those are like the non-negotiables, and then for me, it's down to Pink or Gwen Stefani. I think I know more Gwen Stefani songs are coming to my head immediately.
She had my hump in it.
Yeah, no, that was Fergie.
Oh, yeah, no,
Gwen Stefani was
Holla
Back
Back.
Girl. There was
that little Hispanic one that she was.
Yeah, how am I forgetting Gwen Stefani hits?
She has a lot of hits. I would say I'm gonna get rid of Pink.
You're gonna get rid of Pink
because the only time I remember Pink from the 2000s when she did the collab with Lil' Kim and Christina, and yeah, I think that's the only song that I remember from her.
The thing is, I know there's Pink songs that I'm missing, but it's just immediately to my head, I'm thinking of more Gwen Stefani songs than Pink, innit?
So yeah, it's gonna be Pink.
So let's do another round. This is Disney/Nickelodeon stars, but their music careers. Yeah.
Okay.
Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, Ariana Grande. One's got to go.
Oh, that's so sad. I might have to say Selena Gomez because the thing with me, I like each and every one of their songs, like their music. I remember there was a time where I used to literally listen to every one of their singles and their albums. For me, Ariana Grande and Miley Cyrus, no one is ever touching them.
I think they have the best bodies of work.
Literally, because I was even thinking it the other day, because when Miley dropped her new album, Endless Summer Vacation, one thing I realized about Miley is that her vocal, her vocal range and the way she can sing, she really mastered how to sing. Back in the day, we always knew Miley could sing, but it was more country and you could hear the accent. But now you can hear the maturity in her voice and she took her time with it. So I'll say Miley's body of work, when you're including Hannah Montana, and even the time where she was cosplaying black people.
She had hits.
I can't lie.
On my feet.
If you're gonna cosplay black people, make sure you have hits, because if you're cosplaying black people like you're Jessie Nelson and you don't have no hit, that's the peak one. But I feel definitely Miley Cyrus and Ariana Grande, you can't touch them. Ariana Grande has been she's been my top artist from the get-go.
Yeah.
But Demi Lovato, I loved her first few albums. Her latest album I didn't really like. I was excited for her rock era, but the title just threw me off, and also it wasn't promoted well. Selena Gomez I've always liked her music, but when I think of these group of women, I have to go with their voices.
Selena's the weakest. Yeah, for me, Selena has to go.
Because Demi has hits.
No, because I feel like you see, I think there was a song. I think it was Demi Lovato, Stone Cold. I think the song was that vocally, that performance is crazy.
The thing about Demi Lovato, is one of the best artists to come from Disney Channel.
Oh, I think vocally she's the best.
She is the best. I don't think anybody else is touching on that channel.
Yeah, from Disney, the only people even in the child era that can touch her is literally Ariana. That's the only person that I think Ariana's a bit better than her, but that's still Demi's up there.
I feel like both Ariana Grande and Demi, the difference between them, Ariana Grande is definitely better because she's theatre trained.
Yeah,
and also it's their vocals, you can never compare it because they're both different range. But one thing about Demi, when she was on Disney Channel, nobody touched her. Nobody from High School Musical, nobody from Cheetah Girls, nobody is touching her.
Listen,
everybody has nice, unique voices, but Demi,
when she sang, listen, every time I used to go on Disney Channel, I used to play the La La Land video. I remember I recorded it on the Sky button, and then there was the part where her where she goes into the bridge and then she screams. I'm like vocal range is ridiculous
for a promotional song as well. That was even supposed to be a single, and then it was that good.
It was that good.
Nah, Demi Lovato, nobody's touching on that channel. But I would say I have to keep Demi because when I go back to her first 3 albums, she has had, is it 3? Yes, 3 albums. First 3 albums, she has had hits. No, I think 4 albums actually. Because when she was on Disney Channel with the rock album, Don't Remember, Did You Forget? Remember December, and then her other ones when she did the pop music, then when she was on X Factor, them times when she was dropping music, nobody's touching Demi Lovato. So Selena Gomez, goodbye. I can live without your music, but her acting is amazing.
Yeah,
Only Murders in the Building. Watch that.
No, she can act. Then we're gonna do one more UK girl bands: Sugar Babes, The Saturdays, Girls Aloud, Little Mix. One's got to go.
The Saturdays have to go. I was listening to them the other day. They have good songs. But
Yeah.
out of you, like Girls Aloud, fam, them girls, they had good music. Like I loved Girls Aloud. Sugar Babes, fam, how can you disrespect Sugar Babes?
No, you can't.
They had too many hits.
Push that
The fact that even Miranda Cosgrove from iCarly was even covering one of their songs.
Yesterday.
And everybody's thinking that it's her
back
song.
around.
Nah, respect. But yeah, the Saturdays have to go. Little Mix, they can't even touch Little Mix. I can't lie.
So if you're
Saturdays
gonna
haven't touched
rank them like 1 to 4,
ranking them, Defo, Little Mix, Girls Aloud, Sugar Babes, the Saturdays.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Little Mix.
Little Mix, Girls Aloud, Sugar Babes, the Saturdays. Because I love Girls Aloud. They have good music, especially from their first debut album.
Do you know what it is? For me,
Sound of the Underground.
I love Sound of the...
What other song is touching that? Spice Girls, I can't lie. I feel like Spice Girls were only popping because they were the only British girl group in the 90s. Because when I went back to see their music, I was like, they only had 2 albums.
Yeah.
And only 3 songs I knew of it. Come on, let's be for real.
But Spice, it was just a wave, innit? It was just like...
Yeah, and they were iconic.
Yeah.
Because they were doing well for themselves in a period. That's why when we look at people like Little Mix were doing well for themselves. Even though they are amazing, but they were doing well for themselves because they were in a period where there was no other competition.
Yeah.
And especially worldwide, there wasn't other competition. Fifth Harmony disbanded.
Yeah.
But in the UK, there was no other girl group.
Yeah.
But during the 2000s, there was Girls Aloud, The Saturdays, Sugar Babes in the UK, and then outside the UK, Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah.
Like there was other girl groups to compete with, but at the same time, everybody was on this pop music, so it was like no one cared about one-hit wonders. But these girls were never one-hit wonders.
No, I can't like Girls Aloud. I mean, because Little Mix, like we talk about X Factor success stories, but we rarely talk about like Little Mix in that comment. Like they're like, I think they're one of the, especially when we talk about winners. I think they're the biggest success stories out of the winners.
Oh, out of the winners, they are the biggest.
Yeah, the biggest success story.
In the UK, America, every other X Factor, they are the biggest winner success story. Because unfortunately, Alexandra Burke, she had one album that people knew of and one song that people knew of. Leona Lewis, I need to watch a documentary of what happened to her because she was big in America.
Potential wise, like she was, but I saw for example, there were I saw a TikTok where they said there were a lot of songs that were meant for Leona Lewis. So apparently Halo.
No, but see, that's the thing. The songs that were meant for her, I was like, only one of the songs I was like, yeah, she could have done. But the other songs, I was like, she could do it, but it wouldn't have been big enough.
It wouldn't have been big,
But the thing is, whoever helped her with the Bleeding in Love, I know it was a bait artist that helped her. I'm going to find it. But whoever helped her with that song, they should have continued helping her. Because she had a good run. Bleeding in Love, Run. She had other songs. That dancing song that she did, it was like, she was doing so well for herself. But I don't know what went wrong. Maybe it's like she didn't care because she's now enjoying her life anyway. So
I'm gonna do one. This one's kind of easy, but Pop Boys. So the Pop Boys, we've got Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, Bruno Mars, Harry Styles. Because even though like these guys are very genre fluid, they operate in pop, innit?
Especially right now, The Weeknd is definitely pop.
Yeah,
but I don't think I'll call Bruno Mars pop. Because I feel like when he first started, the Lazy song, that was pop. Yeah. But when I look at majority of his music,
24 Karat Magic,
that's R&B, funk, jazz.
It's very funk and R&B inspired. But then it's like it's. I feel like it's a lot of his songs are inspired by that. But then I wouldn't put him in R&B either, if that makes sense, or blue. I think it's a combination of a lot of different things into one.
I feel like when people say that, I feel like the reason why people say that is because he didn't start off by doing R&B and he dived into it after. Like, shout out to him and everything, but I don't count him as a pop artist anymore because the music that I've loved listening to him,
like 24 Karat Magic,
that is not pop to me.
Silk Sonic is not a pop album. But
so out of them, I'll have to say Bruno Mars because he's not pop. But if it was out of the 3 of them, The Weeknd, Justin Bieber and Harry Styles, for
me, Harry's got... But that's because I'm least familiar with his work. Because I feel like for me, even though I'm not a fan of The Weeknd now, I like a lot of Weeknd projects. Bieber for me is... It's Bieber.
I feel like, you know what's crazy? A lot of people disrespect Justin Bieber. Yeah. And it's so mad to me. I don't care if you dislike him or anything.
Bieber's got ridiculous about hits.
To sit there and lie and say he hasn't had hits, well, he has had 3 hits. Every single album that boy has dropped, there has been at least 5 hit singles from that album.
Yeah, no, Bieber's ridiculous.
When he came out with On Purpose, that was everywhere. How many songs did he make from that album?
Bieber's an artist as well. You can go into different Bieber albums and experience different things. Like,
exactly.
There are probably fans of Bieber that like specifically just journal stuff. There
exactly, R&B.
The people that like his later stuff. I can't remember what was the album with
it was Hold On. No, oh, that was Purpose.
Yeah.
That was, so he's had 2 albums after that. There was This Is What I Mean.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the name is. No, that was one of the songs I like actually. But he's had 2 others. No, yeah, he's had 2 other songs after that, but 2 albums. But I feel like with Justin Bieber, definitely he's definitely the Prince of Pop. Because one thing about him, he has hits. Nobody can take that away from him. He had girls on lockdown singing Baby and all that song, One Less Lonely Girl, and then he made music with Usher. His second album where he was had the Quiff, their music was amazing with Chris Brown, Next to You. Like, Justin Bieber's a different man. But I feel personally, I love Harry Styles. I feel like from the get-go, because I loved One Direction. They had good music. Because I feel like with One Direction, when they first started, I was like, oh, this is cringe. This ain't for me. Because it felt poppy and it felt for the girls. But the next few albums, I was like, okay, I can hear the rock in it. I can hear the rock element. I like the ballads that they have. One Direction they are a solid group. So no one can even just say they're just for little children. Because One Direction are good, they have good music. But Harry Styles, I'm telling you, listen to his last 3 albums. Beautiful. Then production, he's an artist that he takes his time. His latest album, it actually deserved Album of the Year, I can't lie. I love Beyonce and I love Renaissance, but Harry's House, that was a phenomenal...
That is a big statement.
No, because the thing is, if Beyonce won, that's amazing. Yeah. I'll be happy for her too. But I'm just happy that Harry Styles won, because if anybody else won, I wouldn't be happy. But Harry Styles, for me personally, I love that album from start to finish. Beautiful album. And with me, people don't understand is that I like storytelling. I like a cinematic. I want to feel like I'm in a movie. I want to feel like I can write to this. And that's what Harry Styles gave me. So that's why I like Harry Styles' music, and especially that album.
That's fair.
So I'm keeping Harry Styles. Yeah, but me, Bruno Mars is going.
Because if I was to rank, like, Bruno's my favorite out of these guys. It's probably Bruno, Justin, The Weeknd, then obviously Harry last, because I don't listen to Harry like that. Like, I don't know. But Harry's evolution as an artist is crazy, because we all, like, I think when One Direction were kind of splitting up, we all thought Zayn would be the guy, and maybe Zayn's heart isn't in music like that anymore. But I thought, at least the guy I gravitated to the most was Zayn, because I just liked, and his music was a lot more R&B influence.
Zayn's first album was amazing. There was like, he had the best run ever from, there was a song that went, I think it was She, Drunk, and then Before. If you listen to them 3 tracks together, the way they flow into each other, that was the first time I was like, dang, this ain't the same song. Because the way it flows in was amazing. That album was phenomenal. The music videos were amazing too. I feel like it was just his label. Because everybody that signed under RCA, they always had problems. Miley Cyrus left RCA to now be with Columbia, and look how well she's doing. Yeah. Normani's under RCA. Like, Little Mix, I think they were under RCA as well. It's like, these things ain't good.
Yeah. Speaking of artists, obviously Coachella just happened.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know if you got to watch any of the performances. If you did, are there any performances that stood out for you? Because there's one person that I have to big them up, because we always talk about like artists and stage presence, and I feel like a lot of artists these days don't have stage presence because they're going straight from like the studio to the stage. Yeah. But Lotto's performance was good. Lotto's performance was
I saw that clip of her new Sip It. And I feel like there's one thing that I love about female rappers. Whenever they preview a new song at Coachella, it always slaps. Yeah. Last year, Megan's Plan B. That was mad. When I heard that snippet, I was like, geez, she's coming hard. Doja Cat, when she previewed to one of her rock songs, I was like, yeah, this sounds cool. Yeah. So yeah, Lotto, she has stage presence.
And I like the unity just between the girls, because she brought out, obviously... She brought out Tia Kareen. She brought out Don't Play With It. Lola Brooke. She brought out a lot of that. She brought out a couple of girls. And I just like the unity that's amongst the women these days. I feel like the women, for the most part, are like on a united front, where it's like, we're gonna support each other. We're gonna do.
I think you know what? I feel like that's really good, but it does remind me of back in the day, because I've been doing research on like female artists as well. There was a lot of unity back then.
What, 90s, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
90s,
for sure.
2000s, especially the rappers. There was Queen Latifah, Lil Kim,
Foxy.
Foxy. Well, Lil Kim and Foxy had beef.
Yeah.
But like Queen Latifah, Lil Kim, Eve, like they were all united. Missy Elliott. So I feel like that was really good. But now we're seeing it again. But I feel like we only bring this up because for a long run it was just one female rapper, so it was hard. But now that we're having young people come out, it's really good. But I feel like stage presence for me is defo Rosalia. I haven't watched the performance yet, but I was seeing clips from it and I was like, yeah, Rosalia, I love her. Like her music is amazing. Honestly, I need to get more into like that type of music because
the Latin sector,
all these people, all these Latin artists,
breaking it. I feel like a lot of them are just breaking records.
And do you know why that is because you know Latin people, they be playing their songs every single day. Fam, you know their restaurants, their barbers, they have YouTube up on repeat, and you wonder why these people are on billion views.
Yeah,
because they're constantly playing it.
Yeah,
and that's why you look at Afrobeat artists when you go to these shops or these restaurants or these barber shops, they're always playing these songs. That's why even after Afrobeat artists, they have bare views on their video because they're always playing it. And that's what I like. Is like I like it when you know the community is supporting them.
Yeah, and I like the fact that the music for like music from other cultures, because obviously like we look to America, obviously America being like the superpower of the world for music, but I like the fact that music's global. Like different people from different countries can listen to a different genre of music from a different country, and I like the fact that it's not just we like pop from America. Well, no, we like Afrobeats, we like reggaeton, we like all of this type of stuff, and all of these things can sit in similar platforms and similar spaces. It's not just Latinos that listen to reggaeton. No, it's like the world's listening to it. Clearly, it's not just Africans that listen to Afrobeats. The world's listening to it as a whole, and I like the fact that just the globalized nature of what music is becoming today. It's important.
I feel like that's good. It's honestly good because even like when you go to like different countries, you see their type of music and what they listen to, and they don't even care too tough about what Americans are doing. But I feel like it's because we in the UK and we're an English-speaking country as well, we want to appeal to the American audience because we feel like that's where music should dominate. But you don't know, a lot of these underground people, these upcoming artists, they have big fans across Europe. Yeah, like we need to start deep in that. Is a worldwide thing. America's not the world. It's bigger than that. Yeah. So yeah, I really, even yesterday my friend was showing me this K-pop artist called Kai, and I was like, I don't really like K-pop like that. But when I listened to his song, I was like, okay, I can get behind this. It's not cosplaying black people. And then when I saw his live performance, that mic was on and he can perform. I feel like K-pop artists, they are the closest that we have to like proper performers back in the day.
Oh yeah,
because they
production.
Because the thing about them,
design,
their companies, they train them well. Like you can't leave that place unless you are actually properly trained and you're ready to be on stage. Yeah, K-pop artists, they're good.
I feel like in terms of performance, they're the gold standard. But
it's just their music. It's just giving me 2010 bubblegum pop and all that nonsense.
Do you know what? I have like a hit and miss relationship with K-pop. I like some K-pop songs, and I like some. I always, one thing about K-pop, I always respect the music videos. The music videos for me are always just 10-10. But yeah,
I'm not even surprised because their TV shows and their movies are always amazing.
Yeah,
like Koreans, Asian people. One thing about them, they know how to make movies and they know how to use special effects.
Nah, for sure. There was obviously, you spoke about performance. I brought up performance for a reason because there was a lack of a performance from an artist that I love, Frank Ocean. Obviously, Frank Ocean was scheduled to perform at Coachella, and the first date he was scheduled on, a lot of the reports were he didn't he was lip syncing, he didn't perform. And then apparently there was a whole set built for him the
ice skating thing.
Yeah, that he decided to tear down the day of, and there's been a conversation about. Is Frank Ocean wrong for that? Are we as consumers too demanding of artists? Because obviously, there's a tragedy in his family and so on and so forth. And like, how do we hold Frank Ocean accountable? Or is it just one of these things like, it comes with the risk because Frank Ocean is somebody that, it kind of seems like he's done with music.
I feel like with Frank Ocean, I've gotten the idea that he was done with music ever since he dropped Blonde and Endless. Yeah. Because when the whole Apple Music thing happened and he basically won how much money from them, I knew he was done with music. But I do take into consideration that he did lose his brother. Was it last year or 2 years ago? Yeah. So it was like, we can never say, oh, you should have stopped grieving by now. It's like, it's enough. Because you need to understand that was somebody close to him. Yeah. So I understand that. But at the same time, as somebody who loves your music, and if I was going to Coachella, I'm going to put myself in the shoes of them people, I would feel so upset that this is the performance I got.
Yeah.
You was an hour and a half late.
Yeah.
Your set was like, they said that the set was built like you couldn't even see him.
Yeah.
All you can see is just the visuals on the screen, and half of the time the visuals on the screen were just stuff that he pre-recorded, so it was barely him. But it was like, you never know, because it said that on the day, that's when he decided to take down the whole thing. They had to melt the whole stage. I feel like, I can't like, you have to be considerate to these people at the same time, because you never know. He might have got there and be like, had a panic attack or anxiety just got to him and was like, no, I don't want to show my face. I don't want to be there. But honestly, it's a tricky situation, especially when it involves a loss in their family. But at the same time, does he not have management? If he does, there's a thing they should have done. Are you actually ready to headline?
Yes.
Because this is a lot of money that has gone to waste, and now you've been removed from the next one. Like, you can't waste people's money like that. And people are coming out to see you.
Yeah. I thought it's a complicated issue, because obviously, like, he's grieving, and obviously it's not right to tell people how to grieve, but at the same time, there are at the end of the day, it's like you signed a contract to perform in front of these people, and think about not only the people that flew in, paid how much, because Coachella tickets aren't cheap anyway, and people probably flew in from across the world to see, but even the people who arranged the set. We studied film, like, we know how much production goes into building stuff. There are people that have probably, that will go on to be nameless, that have spent time, obviously they're getting paid, it's their job, but they spent time to build this set, and they have an artistic vision for the world not to see their work.
But see, that's the thing, that's why I feel like a lot of people don't understand why artists get upset with certain things. Money and all of that is cool, but if I've spent hours building, the set designers are all there, the people that built the set and everything, the stage managers, all these people running around, they spent time to come and create a masterpiece like that just to be taken down.
Yeah.
People can say, oh, but you got paid this much. You don't even know. A lot of these artists, we don't even get paid that much.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the time, the money is not even like that. They'll probably say, oh, I'm going to pay for the transport there.
Yeah.
So we need to take that into consideration. I feel so bad for them people that actually built that set.
Yeah.
And and I feel like the person that spoke about it was the person that was even on the set thing.
Yeah.
So it was like, they were really annoyed. Because imagine all them, I think it was how many, 20s, ice skaters.
Yeah.
They were practicing for how many weeks?
Because recently, like, I was watching Renaissance with my girlfriend, and then like we were watching like Beyonce and just choreograph the thing with all the dancers, and then I remember there was a point in the Renaissance where they spotlight everyone that was involved, and these are things sometimes as a consumer we don't think about, that these. Obviously, there's the artist, we come to see the artist, but the people that also help with the performance are the dancers, are the people who make the set. Like, it's a collaborative effort. Yes, it might come from the vision of the artist, but it takes a team to make this work. And that's the thing that was kind of like upsetting, was kind of like, damn, and apparently these people spent months working on the project. But for me, as a Frank Ocean fan, obviously, first and foremost, like, I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
But if, let's say, Frank Ocean was to announce a tour, what, like,
I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm very hesitant to go. I'm like, I'd be like, do you know what? Nah. I'd have to see, do you know, the only way that would convince me to go is if, like, he completed a tour in America and it went off flawlessly. But, like, if he was like, oh, I'm just doing a show in London, I don't expect him to show up, because the track record hasn't inspired a lot of faith.
It hasn't. And I feel like I feel like it's just something in the waters in this new generation of artists. I feel like people have this whole attitude, I don't care, I'm just here to make music. Honestly, I get you're here to make music, but did you not know what you're signing into? I'm not even speaking about Frank Ocean. There's a lot of artists that come here, and because Frank Ocean, I understand his thing, but I've never seen a live performance in a award show or anything, so I don't know. But there's a lot of artists that they come into the game and they don't care. They don't care about promoting their music anymore. They'll just throw it on TikTok and get somebody to dance now. Like, TikTok has really damaged a lot of good promotions, but at the same time, it's helped a lot of upcoming artists.
Okay.
So let's use J.O. as an example.
Pick up J.O. every time.
Like, 22 and the other song before that, such
XO,
good music, and the way he promoted it on TikTok, he's smart about it. But there's other artists where it's like, I don't feel like they even care too tough. Like, no, I'm not even talking about the upcoming artists. I'm talking about people like Miley Cyrus, I love you, but people like that, you're established artists, and you're just leaving it for people to make dances of your song. No live performance. nothing, and the next minute you want to release, oh yeah, I'm going on tour. I'm like, where's the communication with artists these days? Like, I know a lot of people on social media has made it terrible for artists to even speak, but it's like, look at Ariana Grande, she's turned off her comments, so only people that she follows can comment. But it's like, where's the communication? I feel like everybody's just gone radio silent, and I feel like the reason is because that everybody's following suit of Beyonce. I'm getting frustrated. Beyonce doesn't speak to nobody. She only spoke to her
They want to bring back the mystique.
That's not cute. Like, the only reason why Beyonce can do it, because she's been in the game since the 90s.
Yeah.
And she's always been a private person, because that's how her family raised her. And she's always done interviews and that. But she got to a point, how she's been doing interviews for like 15 years. It's her time to rest. You guys have been doing interviews for a year. Now it's, I want to be mysterious. Now you guys, what is it? J. Cole, he wanted to release a new album, so he deleted all his posts on Instagram. That is not promotion. You're not Beyonce. You need to stop that. You stop following in suit with other people that are are on a different level. You're not. She's not higher than you.
In hip hop, J. Cole's kind of earned it. He's been around for like 10 years.
Yeah, but I just don't like that whole type of promotion. People delete all their pictures. Next minute, post one snippet.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Doja Cat is now doing that. She's deleted all her pictures. Now she's posting.
But
I'm tired of artists doing that rubbish.
I feel like it only works for certain artists. For example, Frank Ocean from beginning has always been elusive, innit? So
that's why it works for him, and that's why people like his music, because his music also gives that vibe.
Yes,
so I get it from him.
But if you're somebody who's chronically outside, let's say, for example, no, I don't want to pick on her, but let's say Chloe Bailey. Chloe Bailey is someone that we always see on social media. If she decided to go radio silent, it's like, the fuck? Like, what? Like,
no, for Chloe Bailey, I'll actually understand her going radio silence, because the way she's gotten hate, I would therefore go into hiding. So for her, that makes sense. But if you use somebody like, who's big right now? I can't even say Normani, because Normani has always been like that, because she got bullied.
Maybe Coi Leray? I don't know.
Okay, just anyone like
Cardi B, for example.
If Cardi B went
radio silent, because Cardi B's literally, her thing is social media.
And then she wanted to delete all her pictures. Next minute say, just drop it like that, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. when? It's like, I don't like artists when they do that. It's like, you're not mysterious. Unless your music gives that vibe, you're not mysterious.
Like, Weeknd used to be mysterious, and then now he's not.
He never used to post. That man will post like once every 4 months.
But I feel like it's weird, because it's like you said, social media is an interesting thing, because I feel like it could be a good promotional tool, but I feel like some artists can get overwhelmed.
Yeah. But that's why they get their managers to start running their accounts. Chloe said it, the lead up to her album, she was even on Twitter. Like, her manager was the one that was tweeting everything for her.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel
Miley Cyrus, her manager tweets everything. No, okay, I feel bad for using Miley Cyrus as an example, because she's been in the limelight since she was 13. So I would take that back. Miley Cyrus is understandable, but it kind of annoyed me that every time I go to her Instagram, it's just promotion.
But do you think it's because of like stan culture becoming a bigger problem right now? Because I feel like certain artists had stans, and then everyone, but I feel like, especially when you go on social media, like a lot more, like stan culture is becoming a lot more accepted and becoming a lot more normalized. And I feel like it's like people on social media are getting very brazy with it, just to the point where it's starting to affect the artists themselves. Was like, where artists are starting to disassociate from their fan bases, because it's
I honestly agree with that. Stan culture is the reason why a lot of these artists have come on social media.
Yeah.
Because it's not even their own stans, it's other people's stans, especially in the rap game. These people want to be beefing you for no reason, because you said this, you said that. And I feel like a lot of the times when you see the way people talk, it's like, you guys are so lucky that somebody don't slap you across the face on the street, because the way you talk, you would never say this to people in real life. And the way stans will actually talk to these celebrities is so crazy. And then you wonder why they don't want to communicate with nobody.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's like you give people an inch and then take a mile. But at the same time, going off social media completely, especially where that's where you built a lot of your core fan base, is weird. I think the internet and social media has changed the way we consume, not even just music, but entertainment. Like, it feels like, because it gives people a false sense of reality where they think they know these artists, and they even you as a content creator, yeah, have you ever experienced like people like being too personal with you? Like, it might not be like, they've like people getting too comfortable with you, like if you've met them, or has it always just been like, hey Jason, I know you from TikTok?
Real life?
Yeah.
The only time I ever had that experience was when I went to WizKid.
Okay.
And this girl was just calling me, and I was so confused who she was, because it was that everybody was just moving, everybody was enjoying the music. And then she was just trying to get up all in my face and grab my glass, and I was like, okay, that's a bit, calm down. I've not met you. Just because I might seem like a bubbly person online, it doesn't mean you can be
there's
like
boundaries.
that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's different for celebrities though. I feel bad for them.
Yeah. But you know, the reason why I asked you, is because obviously you're a TikTok content creator, and I feel like TikTok as an app is different to other social media work. I feel like TikTok, you get a lot more people. TikTok's a lot more personable of an app, and you get to like know people a bit more intimately, quote unquote. But just because they get to know maybe a bit more about your personality and stuff, it doesn't mean they know you. So, and I feel like in TikTok, I've seen a lot of the times boundaries get crossed because you don't overshare, but I know there are people that make content about their lives, just like, oh, this happened to me today and so on and so forth. And I see their comment section and say, that's why your baby father. I'm like, whoa.
Damn.
And it's like, whoa, but you've put that information out there, but now people are kind of overstepping boundaries. And I feel like social media's kind of allowed that. Back in the 90s, back in all of these places, the only time you'd see these artists is on TV in the interviews.
Or
and
newspaper.
In a newspaper, like you wouldn't see these man. So it's like it means that when they go outside, they're probably being bombarded by fans, but they're not having that many interactions with fans. But nowadays, fam, you could tweet your favorite artist and they might respond positively or negatively.
And even if they don't respond, they definitely see it.
You definitely see it. And I just feel like that overwhelming of information. I don't know. I'd love to talk to an artist to see if record labels train them for that, like prepare them for it. Because it's like that new just that new fame can be difficult. Yeah. But I know we always talk about this group, but I'm so happy for Flow.
No, they're doing well.
I'm like, I haven't, like, do you know what it is? I feel like they have in 10, 20 years have the potential to be mega artists, mega stars.
They do, because what they're doing right now already is amazing. But also, they've been trained for like 3 or 4 years prior to this.
Yeah.
So before last year, they were already in training to be the artists that they are today. So they're still working, but that's why they sound so good together.
And
they're blended.
And that's the label doing its job. Because I feel like I've seen like some negative comments saying, "Oh, they're industry plants." No, it's their label doing their job.
Because
it's artist development.
Exactly. Because when artists come and they're not developed and they're flopping here, like remember Summer Walker, people were getting onto her, oh, she's too shy, she can't speak there, she can't speak there. That's because she just came into the game.
Yeah.
And her song blew off of luck. And because not off luck, because people genuinely liked it. That's why it blew.
Yeah.
But she wasn't ready for this. But when artists are actually trained and they actually get signed, they're industry plants. No, just take it as it is. You guys complain about this, then when you get what you've complained about, you complain about that, calling them industry plants. Just mind your business, because you don't even know what industry plants are.
No.
Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's like you're seeing, because I feel like, again, we talk about social media. I feel like social media's created a lot of stars, which is great, but then it's thrust people to a spot like they might have not been ready for. For an example, like you said, Summer Walker, where it's like they might not have had the training to be on stage yet, so their first performances might be rough, and we're seeing them grow before our eyes. And some people like that. Some people want to be in on the story. But I feel like with a case like Flow is something where they've taken them, they've molded them until they're ready, and then they've put out a finished product. And I feel like some people don't like that, but at the same time, it's like we need both. And the industry can exist where, yes, we have the relatable success stories, but then also we have the people that have been fine-tuned and like molded for this moment. And then now what we're seeing is a very refined, and even as artists, it doesn't mean they still can't grow. I feel like there's a lot of growth with them as well. Maybe their sound will evolve here and there. Maybe they might, depart from whatever label they're in now and chase another label or whatever. But I just feel like with them, the sky's the limit for them. And I just liked how polished and refined they are at this moment. Like it's a beautiful thing to see, man. Honestly, just UK music, UK R&B, I'm liking where it's going. I'm liking it as a whole. I feel like we had like the rappers who were like achieving commercial success, but I like the fact that UK R&B is slowly growing and slowly bubbling.
I even forgot about the rappers. No. But they're doing their thing though.
I think it's not to say that UK rappers aren't making money, but I feel like we experienced like an explosion of popularity, and then things have kind of like plateaued and then simmered down a little bit, where a lot of these artists are able to make a lot more money, but I felt like the buzz it had maybe 2-3 years ago isn't there.
During uni, especially during uni, it was big.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
UK, they're doing well with their music.
Yeah. Like
I feel like what I want artists to do is not be too quick to sign to a label. Because there's so many like politics when it comes. Ray was even explaining there about the money and all that stuff. Is like just do things independently, but get yourself like a manager or an agent or something like that.
Yeah,
and like they'll get like 20% or something. But it's like even like, because I feel like especially with a lot of labels, they're making these artists into puppets now, and like it's scary. I can't lie, it is scary because when we see a lot of artists like Lil Uzi Vert, all these people. Lil Nas is like, I used to think that when people say that they sold their soul, it was a joke. But I remember when Katy Perry said it, and she said it in an interview that she sold her soul, and then I was like, oh wow, is that what you mean? Is that why you're so big? Because her first album was not the She Kissed a Boy and all that stuff, but it was the first album that she dropped was actually a Christian album that she dropped.
Okay,
and it was under her actual name. But then it was like, yeah, this wasn't popping. Boom, sold her soul, changed it all up, and then now she's who she is today. But yeah, I just want artists to be wary because I feel like a lot of the time when you get signed to a label, is the whole thing that they mold you into something that you're not even. And that's why I like Chloe Bailey, but when people talk about the over-sexualization of her, is that I understand that. Because honestly, be free to be who you want to be, but it's getting to a point where we can actually see what it is.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not going to speak too much about it because I respect her and everything.
Yeah.
But when you've come from a group like Chloe X Halle, the people cannot come and tell me and say, oh no, but this is who she is now as a solo artist. Because even as a solo artist, you should still have some element of who you were in that group. Because
it should be a
you had full
evolution.
Control over that group as well.
Yeah.
Like we saw from their first EP, the Symphony and all that stuff, to then Kids Are Alright, and then to Ungodly Hour, then we'll see the maturity. So that's why I'm like, if
and the
Halle
thing
never
is,
got
even an Ungodly Hour, there was still elements of like Chloe embracing her sexuality.
exactly, and it felt so natural, and it felt
natural,
so good,
yeah.
and that's why everybody loved that album. But it's like going from that, and I feel like if Halle never got The Little Mermaid, we would have got a fourth album by now. But it's like, even as solo artists, because I'm not even gonna speak about Halle, because Halle's music, them snippets I've been hearing are amazing.
Yeah, I feel like
that's
after Little Mermaid, we're in for something special.
Exactly, but for Chloe, I really wanted her because when she was speaking about the whole, oh, she's finding herself, the music is very special to her. Then when I listened to the album, I was like, okay,
it didn't feel personal.
That's one thing about artists when they say stuff like, it was the best thing I really poured my heart to it, and then I'm hearing it and it just sounds like generic club music. I was like, oh,
this is PR. Yeah, obviously, like I'm not going to speak on like how a woman like uses her sexuality in that, but it was a shift that I noticed. I was like, whoa, and it does feel like at some point like there are people like not pushing her to it, but definitely encouraging it. And I don't.
There's never pushing her because she's under a label.
Yeah.
Anything cannot be just by her.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, we've watched shows like Empire, Star, and we need to deep it. No matter how much you people can cuss Empire, it really gave us an insight to how they push their artists and how they make them do things that they, not the artist, but the label wants them to do in order to get clicks, in order to get bait and all that stuff. And I feel like for Chloe, once she dropped that Bust It challenge, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know she was this fine art. She got that all them cheeks and all that stuff. I feel like that's when the label was like, okay, we can work with this.
Yeah, we can profit on it.
And then the next minute, every single second, it was, what do you call it?
Big,
the next video that she did was her doing that all the acrobatics in her room, in the silhouette, doing the splits, and you could just see the figure and everything. I was like, okay. And then it got bare views. Everybody was loving up again. The next minute, a snippet to Booty So Big, and I was like,
yeah,
we knew it was gonna go down this route. But she's like, it only works. I feel like this only works for like female rappers,
for sure,
not artists.
For example, like,
because if we do artists, we have to look at people like Ari Lennox, Like
Janae.
no, Ariana, she has like the sexy
so
type
sensuality.
Yeah, her music is like she will talk about Victoria Monet.
Yeah.
They will talk about these stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not like, ugh.
It's not
That's
vulgar.
you.
It doesn't come across as vulgar. And
Yeah.
for me, I agree with you because like when I feel like art and as an R&B artist, like sex and sensuality is a part of it. But there's and again, I'm not trying to police, but there's a way that these artists come across where like they're very vocal about their stuff, like, but it still comes as organic. I feel like this was like raw, like cool. I was hoping when I heard Chloe like go solo that we're gonna get, like I said, more introspective about, you know, maybe how it is, you know, dating at her age, or maybe you know, her love life in music. But I feel like right now the focus is, yeah, I'm sexy, my ass is fat. Yeah, from the singles, I'm like, and from what you said from the interviews, I expected a lot more just introspection and that's what R&B is. It's like a lot of the time it's introspection.
And it doesn't even make sense to me because what confuses me, when she was dropping all them snippets of her making beats and all them music back in lockdown and like outside of lockdown as well, like when she first got her first her own Instagram page, I was like, what happened to all them beats? Is that there was a total shift? Like they came and just said, okay, you're not Chloe and Halle anymore. You're just Chloe and yourself.
You create a divide between.
As in, like, what happened to all them beats? Because everybody was loving that type of like Chloe. She's an amazing producer, amazing writer. But it was like I don't know. She was saying that she did half of the songs. She wrote majority of the songs on this album and she produced it herself. Like the production, the beats and everything, they're amazing, of course. But it's just the lyrics, bland.
Yeah,
you have to like. I love Chloe and everything. I want the best for her, honestly.
for sure.
But I feel like when it comes to criticism, one thing that we can do as people, especially as consumers, is to be careful how we speak about it because she's still human.
Yes.
And I do feel really bad for her because the way people have come across is like every single second I must hate on Chloe. I must hate on Chloe. Even when she was doing her covers. Okay, yes, she might be sounding a little bit too sensual with her music, but that's her voice. Like, maybe she can tone it down a bit, but when you guys are cussing her out and everything, how am I supposed to listen to your criticism? I'm not taking that as criticism. I'm just taking that as you hating.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I feel like a lot of people can do when they want to criticize these new artists. Be careful, because you never know. She was talking about she'd been depressed and everything. Like, and the reason why I have a soft spot for her is because I remember back in when they were together, Chloe and Halle, before lockdown, or maybe it was lockdown, Halle was literally saying how Chloe has always been insecure about her body and herself. So now she's really happy that she gets to see Chloe embrace herself and show the world who she has always shown her little sister. Yeah. So it's like, when I hear stuff like that, I just wish the right people were behind helping her do that. Instead of, because I don't know who's at the label, and I'm not going to say, because I just, personally, I don't think it's Chloe fully herself saying.
Small being exploited?
I do feel like it is, because remember, especially on Parkwood label, it's just Chloe, Beyonce, and Halle. Those are the people. And then Columbia are all about promoting their artists. Like, when we look at Columbia Records, every single one of their artists are big. Adele, Harry Styles, Miley Cyrus, Beyonce. Like, they are big. Mary for gospel artists, they are big.
But you know what's the interesting thing? The artists you named all seem to have they're very conscious about how their presentation. Exactly. Harry Styles is very intentional with his presentation. Adele's been presenting herself in a very specific way for years. Exactly. Beyonce is Beyonce. So it's you mentioned them, but then it's like it doesn't translate to Chloe. Why do you think that is?
I feel like for Chloe is a thing where, because she's young as well, deep it, like Harry Styles, he was young when he was in One Direction, so he had people to fall back on. Yeah. Adele, she started off. Like, Adele has always been like how she is. She's always done ballads and everything. Yeah. She always said it herself. She's not that person that gets on stage and dance, but people love her music because of that. Yeah. And the reason why labels probably look at her is because, okay, she has a niche. We're going to keep her there. Beyonce has her niche. She's always redefining herself, but also staying true to herself.
And she's a megastar as well.
Exactly. And then Harry Styles, he's left One Direction, so he has his sound. Yeah. They need that type of pop male artist. But for Chloe, I feel like it was a thing where they saw that she was exploring her sexuality and everything. I don't know. It's like for her, I feel like it's hard. I feel like for Chloe, it's just I wish there was somebody that could actually just hold her hand properly and just be like, okay, if you want to explore it, okay, cool. Let's explore it in a way where it's still true to yourself. Because I don't know, I can't fully say, oh, it's not true to herself, because I never know. This might have been how she was, especially in her relationship and everything. But to us,
It just.
but see, that's why I'm 50-50, because at the same time, she was in a group, and a lot of people when they're in a group, they can't explore their full self unless they get into
especially she was in a group from a very young age
with her sister.
Yes.
So if she was doing all these things like sexual stuff, people be like, oh, that's with your sister. That's weird.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why the only reason why I won't say Chloe's out here not being herself.
Because we never saw herself.
Exactly.
We saw a half.
Exactly. But that's why I feel like one thing is I really do wish like she just had more time to work on herself before releasing this album, especially. Because when I heard the title In Pieces, I was like, oh, I love this already. I feel like I was going to give balance. When I heard the first single, Pray It Away, I was like, this is a hit. It's a hit. I was so happy for the album. But then when I heard the album, probably it'll grow on me, but I've only listened to it once. I don't think I'm going to listen to it again. But honestly, all I do, I wish her the best. And all I can do is pray for her because she does not deserve the hate she's getting. And also, I love the fact that she's on tour right now because it really is showing her that she has true fans, people that love you.
People that will go support
and since they even said it, like, I'm happy that you get to experience this because these are the true people that love you. Nothing about the internet and all that stuff can get you down.
For sure.
That's what she needs to remember.
For sure. Yeah, just like a last thing as well. Like, I feel like there's like you said, the difference between critiquing the the artistry and then critiquing the person, or like making personal time. I can say I don't care for this album. It doesn't mean Chloe Bailey's a insert experience. Like, no, like I feel like we can definitely have like educated conversation like we've just had about where we see her artistry going and like what we don't like as consumers, because at the end of the day we consume music, we're allowed to comment on it, but keep her at that, the music.
And also she has an audience for herself. Like people need to understand, if the music is not for you, if you don't connect with the music, that's cool, keep it moving. But she has an audience for herself. And one thing that annoyed me about the whole album release is the critics, not the people criticizing on the internet, but the actual critics. You're getting paid to listen to an album and actually speak about it. There was this one lady that annoyed me so much. Everybody was talking about it, so I went to go and find out. I forgot her name, but it was on Pitchforks.
Okay.
The way I read that thing, I was thinking, is this in the comments of her YouTube video or something? Because the way she just dragged her, then brought Hallie's name into it. I'm like, one thing about music critics of today, if you're going to be a critic, actually critique the music and not the person. Don't be using clickbait stuff because, you've seen people on the internet say this, or you know people are going to laugh at this. No, do your actual job. You did not go to university and study journalism for how long just for you to come out and just spew nonsense. Half of the time it doesn't even look like you even went to university for this. Because if I was Chloe and I read that, I would have said, yo, you know what, we're gonna find that girl's house and I'm gonna go drop kick her.
Lawyers, I'm gonna sue her.
No, because it was just complete rudeness. Like, you can literally say, yeah, some albums are not for you, but without being disrespectful to the person. Like, I don't like. God bless Chloe, because she has a good, strong support system around her. Her sisters, her brothers, her agents, even she talks about how Beyonce supports her, her friends as well. So that's what I've really deep. A lot of people look at celebrities and be like, why they not replying? Or why they always getting lippy here? Why they do this? Why they do that? Because they have a support system. Because they know that this internet thing is not real world. When they step out into the real world, they're with their family, they're with their loved ones, they're cherished. And a lot of the reasons why people throw stones at people on the internet is because they're probably not loved. They're probably projecting a lot of things. Yeah. But even on a tangent, this even relates to the whole Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez thing. Because half of the time, because when you deep it, that whole beef, apparently they sorted it time ago, but it's just the fans that were still beefing, so it's just silly.
Yeah, it's like the fans are projecting the beef that doesn't that if it did exist, it ended a long time, and it's not. At the end of the day, it's none of our business. That's the problem. It really isn't. Like, we see with the like cool. It's one thing, if they were on Instagram live doing their cool, that's something they put out to the public. Cool, we're allowed to comment on it. But anything that's like, I heard from a mouse that she said, I'm like, I ain't got time to do dot.
It's just dumb. Like, you guys got upset because Kylie posted a screenshot of her eyes and her eyebrows happened to be in the screenshot.
Like, there's too
many. Was she supposed to shave her eyebrows off?
I don't know. Like if I have to, like, there's too many things I have to think about for me to even process what's going on. I'm like, it's tiring, man.
Because I was thinking about when they came up, somebody was saying to me, "Oh, did you hear about the beef?" I was like, I thought they blessed it out already. They took a picture, but no. And then when I went onto my For You page, I'm seeing everybody talking about it. And you know what cringed me out the most? It was the videos, the POVs that people are making. If I was Selena Gomez, or what do you call it? There was a girl who made a video talking about how she would back Selena Gomez against Kylie and Hailey, and then the way she was doing it, she was acting like she's some bad girl. And I was thinking, I can't lie, half of the things you said in that video, you're never gonna say it's their faces. It is so cringe the way people get on their high horses to start acting like someone else they're not gonna be in real life. Because half of the time, the people that will be throwing stones are the ones that even got bullied.
Shout.
It is crazy out here.
But yeah, man, this has been a dope episode of the Rare Podcast. Mr. J Quan, tell the people where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at http.jxson, always on TikTok and Instagram.
You can find me on Twitter, NK Preach, Instagram, NK Grams. Make sure you follow the Wrestling's podcast if you're into wrestling. Stone Cold, John Cena, The Undertaker, all of those guys. If you like that type of stuff, head over to Wrestling's. But make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on TikTok. We will catch you guys on the next episode of the Rare Podcast. We are signing out. Deuces.
Y'all niggas got me hot.